Don't compromise, just use your eyes. Take a look inside the millennial mind. Millennial mind.
Welcome to the millennial mind. You might call us lazy and entitled, but it's time you start to understand the millennial generation and break free of those negative stereotypes. Get the knowledge you need to attract, retain, and engage the millennial mind to take them from entitled to engaged. And who better to help you on this journey than two actual millennials themselves? I'm Garrett Wagner, your entrepreneurial CPA channel host, and I'm here with my fellow millennial, entrepreneur, rapper, future doctor, man who knows it all, Drew Carrick, the rapping CPA. Are you ready to hear the truth about the millennial mind from us? Now, Drew, as we're kicking off some of our first episodes here, I want to kind of dig deep on this one, like real deep, and ask you this. What do you think? Why do you think all the hate coming towards us millennials?
What's up? Well, I'm thinking maybe we just not do this video because I don't feel like it. No, you know what it is? There's a lot of hate on millennials because there's these stereotypes that I think, they shouldn't really exist. Some of them perhaps have some sort of grounding. A lot of them probably exist because parents raising these kids in the 80s and 90s but got really frustrated with the kids that they were dealing with and weren't really sure how to deal with them. And so these sort of negative stereotypes about millennials being entitled, being lazy, being not wanting to work. I think a lot of them have false pretenses, and there are definitely people, but of course, like any stereotype, there's going to be people that sort of speak to the stereotype. But a lot of us, I think, are just sort of misunderstood because we're not communicated with properly, and sort of addressing how to communicate properly is the key to really getting more out of the millennials. But I mean, we take a lot of hate because people don't really get us.
No, they don't. And I'm like you said, every generation, every generation gets a lot of hate when they kind of come into the masses, and there becomes more of them, and they kind of become that disruptive force in the marketplace. I mean, there's quotes going back to like Plato and Socrates way back then, and the same thing we're saying now about millennials, they say about the newest generation way back in the day. It's just a different trend. It's a different spin. The same thing was said about baby boomers and Gen Xers when they came up as well. Everybody kind of likes to hate on those generations that come up. But Drew, I think if we're being honest, though, there are some things that millennials do that's unique to us. And you kind of hit the nail on the head when you kind of started with pretending like you didn't want to take part in this. What are some of the other negative stereotypes that you hear that may have a grain of truth in them?
So one would be, they say that, millennials, they're not engaged with what's going on at work. They don't want to work. They don't want to do what they're doing. The truth is, no, we don't want to do what we're doing. We want to do what you're doing as the employer. Then that's not to say that we're not going to do the job that's in front of us. So we can get it done, but we want you to know we can get it done quicker, more efficiently, using the technology and the skills that we sort of were able to grow up learning to do our job and then take on some of those other things. So we're not engaged because we're almost bored of that sort of, the plain task that's in front of us of just counting numbers, of just putting in data entry. We want to be thinking, and so being disengaged and not wanting to work, that's just an element of not really being utilized to our full capacity. That's definitely one of them. Wanting handouts, being entitled. It's not true. It's frustrating for especially a lot of millennials who grew up being told our whole lives how we're supposed to live and what we're supposed to do, and following this. You have to finish high school well and go to college and go to the best school and get out right away, have an internship, have a job. And a lot of that comes with a lot of sacrifice, of whether it's student debt, whether it's working without pay, just to get those experience, get those hours in. And we sort of been fed this treat. So there's a sort of spite and frustration that comes with millennials, where we're saying, well, we do want to get rewarded for that. You made us go to school. You made us do all these things. We did what we were supposed to. So, all right, let's get some of let's reap some of the benefits.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of just negative pieces. You hit on so many of them right there. And I think when I think of one-on-ones, it's kind of like that technology side. People think millennials are so just entrenched in technology. And Millennials are very entrenched in technology, but that's a byproduct of growing up with technology. I see that all the time with my daughter, it's amazing to think she's 4 nowadays. She started using my iPhone around like 1.5. She was using it like a champ. It's not because I taught her how to use it or I spent time with her. She just instinctively learns technology and kind of embraces it like we all do. And I'm sure when the Gen Xers came, there were similar technologies that they were getting involved in and doing that the generation before them wasn't. And the baby boomers. And there's always that trend of new technology, and the youngest generation picks it up first and drives it there. And also, I think sometimes it's that we live in such an amazing world right now. The standard of living, the cost of living is so much better, and there's so much advancement. And people kind of going from mediocrity to success almost overnight. And especially some young high-tech tech entrepreneurs are doing that. And it kind of rubs some people the wrong way because they're bypassing like all that hard work that used to go into that.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to do that, and it's not fair and it's not easy, but it's just one of those unique things that's happening in the marketplace today that's just kind of rapid expansion.
Yeah, it's definitely that hit me when you think of doing things our own way. A lot of the other generations don't necessarily like that we have our own sort of mentality about how things should get done, how they could get done. And a lot of people will call us arrogant for that, but it's because we have insights and we believe that there is support to back it up, and they are valid claims. And it could be as something as far as like how I'm going to dress or how I'm going to speak or how I'm going to utilize technology. It's in a way that's unprecedented, and it hasn't been done by generations before us. So we sort of created this own, we have our own way of doing it, just like the way that some of these, Silicon Valley entrepreneurs went ahead and said, well, this is how I'm doing it. I don't need the college. I learned everything I need to on my computer at Google University. And here I am, and I was able to be successful. And that directly clashes with the whole, you got to work your way up the corporate ladder mentality, which a lot of the last generations have sort of gripped onto as their sort of way to get to the top. And so it's not the most comfortable for them to sort of acknowledge the fact that, hey, maybe millennial stuff does actually work.
Yeah, and you made an interesting piece there. Like, hey, with that, what if there is no more corporate ladder? What if we stop having such a hierarchy or system that becomes flatter and becomes a more rapid expansion? Can someone go from zero, from staff accountant to partner in 10 years instead of 20? Can they go in 5 years instead of 10? Maybe it's time we kind of rethink that corporate ladder and how we structure things. And it's like, as millennials, we shouldn't hate on the Gen X, the baby boomers. As millennials, we also as millennials shouldn't hate on the other millennials.
Yeah.
We got to support each other and everybody as we go. So that's all the time we have for today. Hopefully you learned something today, maybe even had a little bit of fun, laughed at the millennials' expense. As always, we're here and happy to answer questions on millennials, no matter what form they take. If you want help better understanding them at your company, firm, business, association, whatever it is, send us a question. We'd be happy to spend some time with you and provide some insight into the millennial mind. And I'm going to ask you, do you have your own opinions and thoughts on millennials? Take part in our millennial survey. No matter your age, we want your input. There's a link below. I encourage you to take the test, share your insight with us. That's it for our show, everybody, today. Thank you for watching. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay up to date when the newest episodes come out from this show and all the other ones that we produce. And as always, we challenge you today to take action today to change the world and invest in yourself.